with our heroes back in the world of the living after their journey to save...
What are you doing?
What do you mean?
How many times have I told you? Promote your shit when you start a video.
Yeah, I know, but like, nobody's gonna watch this.
It doesn't matter. Just do it.
Oh, okay. Welcome to the channel. If this is your first time clicking on a video here, first of all, go check out the Soul Society summary video that I just did, because that'll lead perfectly into this video. And of course, don't forget to like the video and subscribe if you're a Bleach fan, if you're an anime fan, because that's all this channel is about. And comment if you're excited for Bleach making a return sometime soon. That's pretty much it, right?
Perfect. Now let's get into the video.
With our heroes back in the world of the living after their journey to save Rukia in the Soul Society, some semblance of normalcy has seemed to return to their lives. However, during a routine holo attack, a holified Soul Reaper approaches Ichigo to join his masked army. They're called Vizard, but is unsuccessful in his recruitment. Meanwhile, an underdeveloped Arrancar attacks Kon in Ichigo's body, but he is saved by Ichigo's father Ishin, who is revealed to have the powers of a Soul Reaper. Soon after, another pair of Arrancars under the command of Aizen attack Karakura town. Aizen was able to perfect these Arrancar through the power of the Hogyoku. In their attack, they sucked the souls of many humans. Major pause on that one. And while we're paused, who else is excited for the Bleach anime to return and finish off the 1000-year Blood War arc? I'm excited. I don't know about you guys. That's enough of a pause. Let's get back to the video. And easily crush Chad in the process. Come on, Chad? Ichigo comes to the rescue, but his internal struggle with his holo leads to his defeat. Oh God. At which point Kisuke and Yoroichi step in to save him and Orihime. The Arrancars casually retreat, stating that they must tell Lord Aizen that the Soul Reaper they had their eyes on is not worth killing. To be precise, he called him trash. With Ichigo sulking over the lack of his own strength, he's greeted with a surprise visit from some old friends to help in the fight against the Arrancars. While all the Soul Reapers are focused on finding places to crash, another group of Arrancars show up in the world of the living with one goal in mind: kill. During the group of one-on-one fights between the Soul Reapers and the Arrancar, it is revealed that these Arrancar have Zanpakuto of their own that, when released, transform their body. I guess Hite Kubo was a big fan of Edward Scissorhands. All of our Soul Reapers take down their Arrancar opponents, save for Ichigo, who fights the leader of this group, Espada number 6, Grimjao Jägerjak. Before Ichigo's fight can conclude, Tosen comes to retrieve Grimjao, upset that he acted without permission from Lord Aizen, thereby sparing Ichigo from facing Grimjao's full power. Following the battle, Ichigo is adamant to find a way to control his holo powers better, and so he sneaks off to the hideout of the Vizard, asking for help. Okay, first of all, he doesn't ask for help, he demands it like a spoiled little brat. Second of all, I just love when manga shots are brought to life in anime like this. After some grueling training with his group of Vizard, Ichigo is able to gain some control over his inner holo. While Ichigo is training, Hitsugaya, Matsumoto, and Inoue are informed of Aizen's true plan by Captain General Yamamoto. Aizen plans to create the Oken, the royal key that opens the gate to the royal palace, where the Soul King resides. To do this, Aizen needs to harvest 100,000 souls inside of a concentrated spirit zone, or Jureichi, which just so happens to be currently located in Karakura town.
How convenient.
And it is predicted that the fight will take place in around 4 months, due to the cooldown of the Hogyoku being stripped from Rukia's body. Orihime informs Ichigo of this, then heads to Urahara's, where Renji and Chad are training together, and is then told by Kisuke that she should not participate in the coming fight. Inoue tries to put on a brave face, but she's heartbroken inside. While everybody's training for the upcoming battle, a group of Espada attack. However, the attack was simply a diversion for the Quattro Espada Ukiora to kidnap Orihime and bring her back to Hueco Mundo. You see, this is why Kisuke told you not to participate. When news of Orihime's disappearance is discovered, the Soul Society believes she left willingly, and so choose not to rescue her. This is because Ukiora cleverly let her say goodbye to somebody in secret, at which point all of the Soul Reapers sent to the world of the living are recalled to defend the Soul Society from a potential Arrancar attack, leaving Ichigo to sulk like a little bitch. When Orihime arrives in Hueco Mundo, she is ordered to heal Grimjao by Aizen. Tosen could have joined before because he didn't give Aizen enough hand, and is then kept as a prisoner, although they state she is now one of them. She's not. Ichigo then defies orders from the Soul Society and sets off on a journey to Hueco Mundo to save Orihime. Kisuke opens the way, but not before Chad and Uryu show up, announcing that they too want to help. But first, Chad had to prove that he ain't no bitch no more. Uryu regained his Quincy powers through some life or death training with his father. Still don't really know how he got his powers back. After disposing of some lowly Arrancars, the trio run into a group of atypically kind Arrancars, who eventually join them on their journey. Shortly after, Rukia and Renji show up on Hueco Mundo to aid the trio. They're not too happy that he didn't wait for them first. When the group run into a room with 5 different passages, they end up splitting up and are each faced with former Espada. This was me reading through this section in the manga. They each reveal the fruits of their training and come out victorious, only to then be faced with members of the current Espada. Chad is the first to go down, easily being defeated by the Quinto Espada, Neutra Gilga. Oh, you mean he lost to the first actual villain of the arc. Rukia is then confronted with the Noveno Espada, Aronero Arureri. Leave a like for that pronunciation attempt, who was able to take on the appearance of her former mentor and the man she killed, Kaien Shiba. She is able to overcome her guilt and defeats the Espada, though it nearly costs her life. Renji and Uryu take on the Octava Espada, Jayalaparo Grans, who, as head scientist of the Espadas, is able to push Uryu and Renji to the brink of defeat. Meanwhile, Ichigo, even through tapping into his hollow powers, is handily defeated by Okiura. Ah, I see what you did there. Grimmjow then gets Orihime to heal Ichigo, so that they can fairly settle the score between them. Ichigo defeats Grimmjow, only to be immediately confronted by Neutra, who pushes him to defeat. However, Nell, one of the Arrancar who has been following Ichigo around, is revealed to be the former Tres Espada, and when she regains her powers, she faces off with Neutra to repay Ichigo for his protection of her. When Nell reverts to her old form, the last line of defense is defeated, and all of our heroes look set to be killed. Ha, good one. Right then, captains of the Soul Society step in to finish the job. Byakuya saves Rukia from the Septima Espada, Zomari Ruro. Okay, yeah, pronunciation and all that, but can I just say, this is one of the ugliest motherfuckers in the series. Carry on. Korotsuchi displays his superior battle intellect to Jayalaparo, and Zaraki's beastly fighting overwhelms Neutra, while Captain Unohana heals the wounded, accompanied by Isane and Hanataro. As Ichigo is healed again, he heads off to face Ukiura and save Orihime once and for all. Oh yeah, Orihime got taken back to Aizen by this guy. At this time, Aizen, along with the rest of his subordinates, head to Karakura town to create the Oken. However, they are met with a brick wall of resistance in the form of the captains of the 13 court guard companies. Let's just admire this shot, shall we? They created a fake Karakura town and moved the real one with their people put to sleep in order to fight freely. At this point, we get a flashback of how Aizen's treachery began to manifest itself, as well as how the Vizard came to be and what happened to Kisuke and Yoroichi. Around 100 years ago, the Vizard were all captain class members of the 13 Court Guard, with Aizen serving as assistant captain to Shinji Hirako. You got it, that's the Vizard, dude. At this time, Kisuke Urahara is appointed as captain of Squad 12 and establishes the Research and Development Department, with strange disappearances from residents of the Rukongai and officers of Squad 9 missing. A task force is sent to investigate, at which point they are confronted by the hollified form of Captain of Squad 9, Kensei Muguruma. As more people from the task force begin to don hollow masks, Aizen reveals himself to be behind these hollification experiments on the Soul Reapers. When Kisuke and Tessai step in to apprehend Aizen, their efforts prove unsuccessful as the culprits escape. Left to tend to the hollified Soul Reapers, Kisuke and Tessai are later tried by the Council of 46 and sentenced to be stripped of their Soul Reaper powers and sent to the world of the living. The Council of 46 just never do anything good, do they? Yoroichi saves them from this fate and helps them escape to the world of the living, along with the hollified Soul Reapers, where they have remained in hiding ever since. Back in current day, the fight begins between the Arrancar and the Soul Reapers, as Captain General Yamamoto blocks off Aizen and the other former captains from the fight with his flame. The Fraccion underlings of the Espada are the first to attack the captains, and Ikaku and Yumichika, with their defeats prompting their leaders to step into the fight. What follows is an onslaught of fights, among which the notable ones include Soifon and Omaeda versus Baragan Luisenbern, in which we are introduced to Soifon's explosive Bankai, Hitsugaya vs. Tear Haribel. Is this allowed on YouTube? In which we get to see the full elemental power of Hitsugaya's Bankai. Shinsui vs. Coyote Stark, in which we are finally introduced to the playful power of Shinsui's Zanpakuto. Meanwhile, in Hueco Mundo, while his allies are fighting armies of Arrancar, Ichigo is pushed to the brink of death by Ulquiorra, who reveals that he's the only Espada with a second Resurrección. As Ichigo is lying on the ground, seemingly dead. Dude, he had a hole in his chest. He's dead. Orihime's cries reach him, and he awakens in a new form, in which it seems the hollow in him has completely taken over, losing all semblance of control, even going so far as to attack Uryu after he defeats Ulquiorra. The threat of Ulquiorra finally disappears. He learns what human heart finally is. Oh yeah, and when Ichigo returned to his normal form, he still had a hole in his chest, but through some way, he was healed. And the hole's now gone. However, down below, Yami Largo releases his Zanpakuto, revealing himself to be the Zero Espada.
Did someone tell you that the 10 Espadas were numbered for their strength from 1 through 10?
Yeah, you did, dumbass. After defeating Renji, Chad, and Rukia, Yami is confronted by Byakuya and Zaraki, who easily dispose of the not-so-jolly giant. Back in the fake Karakura town, the Soul Reaper's strength begins to wane as Aizen, Gin, and Kaname are let out of the flame by a ginormous hollow called Hulir. I never did like that Pokemon, who is accompanied by a childlike Arrancar called Wonderweiss. At this moment, the Vizard show up to exact their revenge on Aizen for using them as tollification test subjects all those years ago. While the Vizard take on fights with various Arrancar and Espada, Shinji begins his fight with Aizen. Nearby, Komamura and Shuhei take on their former friend Kaname, who reveals to them his fully released form, which finally grants him the gift of sight. Yes, but at what cost, you ugly motherfucker. However, he is impaled by his former subordinate, and seems to show some remorse before his death. As Aizen is toying with Shinji, Ichigo appears from Hueco Mundo, fully healed by Unohana. Kurotsuchi opened the Garganta for him. With all other enemies defeated, save Gin and Aizen, all the able captains and Vizard stand in front of Ichigo to protect him from witnessing Aizen's Shikai. It was revealed to Ichigo by Unohana that he is the only capable fighter who hasn't seen Aizen's Shikai, therefore he cannot be hypnotized by his Zanpakuto, aka he is the main character. As Aizen single-handedly takes down Ichigo's defenders, he hypnotizes them into stabbing Hinamori. He is confronted by Captain General Yamamoto. However, admitting that Yamamoto is more powerful than him, Aizen reveals that Wonderweiss was created for the sole purpose of nullifying his abilities. What the fuck happened to him? Just as Wonderweiss is about to explode with all of the fire he stored up from Yamamoto's attacks, the Captain General contains the explosion, using his body as a shield. Aizen then escapes from Yamamoto's last-ditch attempt to destroy him, but he is confronted by Ichigo, at which point—
Check out my nipples.
God, stop it, Mo, get out of my video. At which point Aizen reveals that he is fused with the Hogyoku. Aizen proceeds to tell Ichigo that everything that's happened to him from when he met Rukia was just as he had planned. Sure. As Aizen frustrates Ichigo, he is confronted by Isshin Kurosaki in his Soul Reaper form, much to the surprise of Ichigo. Isshin and Ichigo retreat, then return to attack Aizen and Gin, respectively. Isshin is soon helped by Kisuke, who tries to restrain Aizen, though even with his painstaking preparation, and with help from Yoruichi and Isshin, he is unable to do so. Meanwhile, Gin shows off his lightning-fast Bankai to Ichigo, though before their fight can conclude, he and Aizen head to the Soul Society, where the real Karakura town is hidden, in order to create the Oken. Before reaching Karakura town, Aizen demonstrates his power in the Dangai, the dimension between the Soul Society and the human world, by destroying Kototsu, the being that keeps people from staying in the dimension for too long. This allows Ichigo, who is in pursuit of Aizen with his father, to train in this dimension for 3 months, as time moves significantly slower there. Meanwhile, Aizen and Gin find Ichigo's friends. However, Matsumoto gets in their way, eventually being swept away by her old friend Gin. Gin leaves Matsumoto behind, unconscious, and returns to Aizen, whom he betrays by stealing the Hogyoku from out of his chest. So the reason he betrayed him was because when he was a kid, he saw some guys rough up Matsumoto and he realized Aizen was their leader, and so he decided then that he would take down Aizen, whatever it took, and that's what led us to this point. However, the Hogyoku returns to Aizen, and so Gin's attempt fails, and he is struck down by his former leader, who then continues his pursuit of Ichigo's friends. He literally prepared for this for a century and he still lost. Feels bad. Before he can cut them down, Ichigo shows up and moves the battle to a more secluded area. Ichigo shows off that the power he gained the final Getsugo Tensho, is greater than Aizen's fully transformed holified state. However, it ultimately comes at the cost of his Soul Reaper powers. Ichigo seems to have won the fight, however his Soul Reaper powers disappear, and Aizen continues to regenerate through the power of the Hogyoku. Before Aizen can strike him down, Kisuke shows up, revealing that he secretly fired a Kido to seal him in their previous encounter. And with that, Aizen is defeated, and soon after sentenced to 20,000 years in the deepest prison of the Serete by the Council of 46. All of our heroes in the fight against the Arrancar recover, and Ichigo, with the loss of his Soul Reaper powers, begins to lose visibility of souls, and so says goodbye to Rukia, and thanks her for being a friend. If you watched up to the end of this video, I appreciate you. If you watched up to the end of my Soul Society video as well, I appreciate you double. We got one more video left, the Lost Agent arc. Should be a lot shorter, that one. And yeah, if you made it to this point, I guess like and subscribe and comment. Let me know if you're excited to see Bleach come back, because I know I am. And with that being said, I'll catch you in the next video. Take it easy, and peace.